We need you to be builders. All are architects of fate, working in these walls of time, some with massive deeds and great, some with ornaments of rhyme. Nothing useless is or low, each thing in its place is best, and what seems but idle show strengthens and supports the rest. For the structure that we raise, time is with materials filled. Our todays and yesterdays are the blocks with which we build. Truly shape and fashion these, leave no yawning gaps between. Think not because no one sees that such things shall remain unseen. In the elder days of art, builders wrought with greatest care each minute and unseen part, for the gods see everywhere. Let us do our work as well, both the unseen and the seen. Make the house where gods may dwell beautiful, entire, and clean. Lest our lives are incomplete, standing in these walls of time, broken stairways where the feet stumble as they seek to climb. Build today then strong and sure, on a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure shall tomorrow find its place. Thus alone can we attain to those turrets where the eye sees the world as one vast plain and one boundless reach of sky. Classmates, said William and Mary in Virginia, all of us here who love you already, call on you to be magnificent builders.
Beneath thy trees, within thy halls, dear college, we give praise to thee, to pledge ourselves whate'er befalls, to pledge unfailing loyalty. Our hearts are with thee, dear William and Mary, however far we stray. Our noble cause, hear us now, thy children sing to thee today. Dear college, old in years and fame, and richly old in honors too, time shall not dull the shining name, whose gleam our songs will e'er renew. And as years go by, dear William and Mary, thy fame will never cease. But each new year we rejoice to see thy children's praise to thee increase. We honor thee not for our gain, but to make known thy majesty, thy truth and courage that remain, however harsh the fates may be. As through troublous years, dear William and Mary, our country fought, so thou hast fought, and won and lived to hear thy children singing glory, we pledge our loyalty. Dear college, now and evermore, thy children cry all hail to thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets and girls bursting in air gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, save us, that sustains us, and always wait. O'er a land of the brave, and the
Good afternoon. Please be seated. Honored guests, students, alumni, faculty, staff, neighbors, friends, and family, welcome to our 2022 Charter Day ceremony. It's so sweet to gather here again together in fellowship in Kaplan Arena. This is William and Mary's house. It's a place where we cherish the chance to be busy together again, whether it's basketball or Charter Day. To those watching via live stream, welcome. Wherever you are joining from, we're glad you're part of this community. So, what's a birthday for? This Charter Day, we have 329 years behind us and year 330 ahead of us. Like every Charter Day before, this is an opportunity to keep exploring our region's complex history, William and Mary's place in that history, and the role we aim to have in making our shared future. As you will see, both past and future are present in William and Mary's Charter Day ceremonies, and especially this weekend as we roll out a new strategic plan. In that spirit, we've expanded our Charter Day celebrations. We are going to be reading a land acknowledgement, reminding us that when William and Mary was founded, there were multiple nations here. You will hear readings of the Charter in 4 languages, recognizing that just as this was a multilingual society before 1693, we are a global and multilingual campus now. We also recognize the accomplishments of our community, so we will recognize faculty and student award recipients who build on that legacy and propel us forward in our great mission. Today, we mark our Asian centennial, commemorating the admission of Chen Pukao, class of 1923, our first student from Asia, and celebrating the contribution of the preceding generations of students of Asian, Pacific Islander, and Middle Eastern descent. So it is fitting that this year our program is graced with a lei, a garland of centennial flowers. The centennial flower image is 3 flowers in one. You can look at your program. The outer design is hibiscus, the middle design is lotus, the center flower, the smallest, is jasmine. I'm reminded of the words of Mary Church Terrell, onward and upward we go, struggling and striving, and hoping that the buds and blossoms of our desires will burst into glorious fruition ere long. The flowers remind us to savor moments of success as we strive to make our community more inclusive. These centennial events will spark discussions that turn into action. They are the buds and blossoms of a stronger community where all may thrive. In joining together today, we embody William & Mary's commitment as a public institution of higher learning to support democracy in action. In a pluralistic democracy, part of the process of maturation is to listen to and learn from others who bring differing views. Curiosity is a core institutional value of William & Mary for that reason. At Charter Day, we showcase it fully as an essential part of the educational experience here. So let's begin with William & Mary's land acknowledgement. I am pleased to introduce Matthew Solomon, member of the Monacan Indian Nation and president of the American Indian Student Association, to read it. Matthew, please join me at the podium.
William & Mary acknowledges the indigenous peoples who are the original inhabitants of the lands our campus is on today. The Cherenhaka Nottoway, Chickahominy, Eastern Chickahominy, Mattaponi, Monacan, Nansmund, Nottoway, Pamunkey, Patawomic, Upper Mattaponi, and Rappahannock tribes, and pay our respects to tribal members past and present.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. A quick history lesson to all to give us some context for our land acknowledgement. In 1677, Articles of Peace were negotiated between tribal leaders and the British Crown. Known as the Treaty of the Middle Plantation, this agreement was negotiated by the chief of the Pamunkey, Kokakoeske, somewhere close to the location of what is now the campus of William & Mary. The video screen shows the names and locations of many of these tribes. I think it does. It should. There we are. This afternoon, we are honored to have representatives from the signatory tribes to this historic agreement. Please stand as your name is called and remain standing. Chief Keith Anderson of the Nansemond Indian Nation. Chief Lynette Alston of the Nottoway Indian Tribe of Virginia. Thank you. Chief Robert Gray of the Pamunkey Indian Tribe was planning to attend but is not feeling well. Chief Anderson, Chief Alston, and Chief Gray lead tribes that William & Mary has worked with for more than 20 years in support of their efforts to gain federal and state recognition. We have new work together ahead. Next year, we will commemorate the 300th anniversary of the Brafferton Indian School, and we will be doing that work together on our campus. We are so honored to have you join us and to continue our partnerships. Thank you. Let me also welcome members of the Board of Visitors. Rector Littell and board members, will you please stand? Please be seated. William & Mary is proud to have strong ties to our city, region, Commonwealth, and nation. Would all public officials please stand and be recognized? Public officials? Public officials. And around the room. At Charter Day, we recognize many in our community for service, curiosity, and the bold pursuit of excellence. You can read more about this year's award recipients in your programs. Let me say just a few words. The Alumni Medallion is the highest honor given by the William & Mary Alumni Association. This evening, we will celebrate the medallion recipients. Please stand as your name is called and remain standing. Thomas DeMakes, class of 1965. Bruce Holbrook, class of 71. Michael Tang, class of 76. Thank you. Gail Williams-Wirtz, class of 66, and Master of Arts 20, will also be honored but is unable to join us today. Last week, we presented the 2022 Thomas Jefferson Awards and the James Monroe Prize in Civic Leadership. As I call your name, please remain standing. Professor Chris Hine, Senior Michaela Huffman, Junior Cameron Lynch, Thank you. Professor Paul Marcus is the recipient of the 2022 Jefferson Award. He's unable to be here, but we'll honor him in the fall. William and Mary's Royal Charter of 1693 establishes the position of Chancellor. William and Mary's current Chancellor is the Honorable Robert M. Gates, class of 1965. Chancellor Gates served as Secretary of Defense, Director of the CIA, and President of Texas A&M. He has worked for 8 US presidents and is the only Secretary of Defense to have served under presidents of different political parties. He is the author of several books, and he models the highest ideals of public service that sustain democracy in the 21st century. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Gates.
Thank you, Catherine. Catherine, when you were selected as William & Mary's 28th president, your ability simultaneously to lead toward the visionary and the achievable were admirable. With Vision 2026, the new directions in which you and the board are leading William & Mary are both ambitious and exciting, ensuring that we will remain the alma mater of the nation. Congratulations to all those being honored today, especially our honorary degree recipients, Governor Younkin, Representative Bobby Scott, and my William & Mary classmate, Howard Busby. With Vision 2026, the university has established 3 goals: expand our reach, educate for impact, and evolve to excel. I'm particularly proud of an objective within the first goal of expanding our reach, and that objective is to elevate civic engagement and service for the 21st century. Elevating civic engagement is sorely needed in our country, this Commonwealth, and yes, even here at our college. As we pursue this objective at William & Mary, we must double down on our abiding commitment to evidence-based argument and discovery as a public good. For as it turns out, the information age in which we live is frequently anything but informed. Vision 2026 underscores that William & Mary must, and I quote, rekindle and model civil discourse, convening disparate views to advance democratic values. Too often in America today, the academic environment is anything but open, instead conforming to the cowardice of closed-mindedness and denying the meaningful accomplishment and personal growth accompanying intellectual curiosity, the benefits of learning from truly open debate. In more than half a century of public life, I never met anyone who had a monopoly on revealed truth or wisdom. However, I have met many who many were convinced they did. We have too many leaders in both parties who think they alone have the right answers, who demonize those who think differently, and who refuse to listen to and take other points of view into account. Core to William & Mary's ideals and to its future is the open exchange of ideas, tolerance, and the willingness to listen and to learn, and the determination of all to defend the freedom of expression of diverse opinions, to seek wisdom in mutual respect and civility, and wherever possible, bridge differences. Ever since walking these grounds more than 60 years ago as a freshman, I have been fascinated and inspired by the role this small corner of our country and this college played in shaping the United States of America. The leaders at Jamestown were always fighting, yet whatever their differences, the survival of Jamestown and other fragile communities in the New World would depend on finding ways to overcome their differences. I believe the example of those leaders, and later our founding fathers, who stood on principle whenever they could, yet compromised when needed for the greater good, has important lessons for today. Lessons too many Americans fail to understand in an age of zero-sum politics and scorched earth political warfare. Lessons about the importance of civility and mutual respect, placing country before self and country before party. In the urgent endeavors that lie before us, I have no doubt that the graduates and scholars of William and Mary have a special role and a special obligation to be part of finding solutions, just as we have for 329 years. Thank you.
It is now my privilege to welcome to the podium William and Mary's rector, John Littell.
Thank you, President Rowe, and happy birthday, William and Mary. On behalf of William and Mary's Board of Visitors, let me wish all of you a happy Charter Day weekend. In 1756, Benjamin Franklin became the first recipient of an honorary degree from William and Mary. Today, we will recognize 3 distinguished individuals with the honor: Governor Glenn Younkin, Congressman Bobby Scott, and Mr. Howard Busby. We have prepared 3 videos highlighting their accomplishments. Following each video, Chancellor Gates and I will confer the honorary degree, and we will hear remarks from the honoree.
It's rare for a person to have 2 exceptional careers, but Howard has done that.
He was a leader at William and Mary, and then he spent 33 years at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he became recognized as an expert in the field of tax.
He was a leader at PwC and then returned to William and Mary to share his knowledge with students and was exceptional. There were a group of students that were really interested in what the different finance opportunities were for them once they graduated. And Howard was an incredible assistant dean. He really believed in a rigorous education, but he also wanted students to be prepared to go out into the real world and get a job. And so we started the Finance Academy.
I believe it's not only helpful, but it's essential for students to have exposure to the business world while they're still in the academic setting. And that's what these organizations provide. That's the kind of preparation that a William and Mary undergraduate education is going to give a student.
I think Howard looks back at his career and realizes that an important part of the foundation was being a student at William and Mary. And after having a successful career in the private sector, he saw an opportunity to give back and to use what he learned at William and Mary as a student and during his career to make William and Mary better. I mean, he's done that not only as an active faculty member, but he's also as an alum, as a volunteer.
It's my understanding that honorary degrees are for people that have made a significant difference to their field and to the community. And I think that's what Howard has done.
I suppose what's kept me involved with William and Mary over the years is that I have a hard time saying no, especially when you become involved in something you believe in. And simply stated, I believe in William and Mary, its mission, its values, and most of all, its people. Great things happen here. It's been a fantastic journey, and I just thank all those that have been with me along for the ride.
Chancellor Gates, Mr. Busby, please join me at the podium. You can remove your mask as well. Howard James Busby, through every season of life, from when you first entered as a student to your time on the faculty, you have committed yourself to strengthening this university. Selfless with your time and talents, you have served in multiple volunteer leadership roles, including as chair of the William and Mary Foundation, president of the Alumni Association, and the Naming and Renaming Working Group, and many other bodies across campus. You came home to William and Mary following a 33-year career with PricewaterhouseCoopers and as a member of the Virginia Bar. In what became a second career, you returned to the classroom. You joined both the business and law school faculties and then served as Assistant Dean of the School of Business. You led the annual William & Mary Tax Conference. The Howard Busby Finance Academy was founded in your honor. You forged connections around shared passions, grand and small, whether antique fire engines or crazy socks. And you are known for building consensus on behalf of the university and every student who comes here. For your unwavering generosity of time and spirit, you have received the Alumni Service Award, the Alumni Medallion, and the Law School's Citizen Lawyer Award.
Howard James Busby, your alma mater has flourished for your joyful, creative, and steadfast service. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the ancient royal charter of the College of William & Mary in Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And to my 1965 classmate, Chancellor Gates, Rector Littell, and members of the Board of Visitors, and President Rowe, thank you for this honor. And my congratulations also go to my fellow honorees, Governor Younkin and Congressman Scott. And thank you, everyone, for those of you who are here today or watching this ceremony. You are the reason that William & Mary is thriving and a great place to call home. I would not be standing here without the fantastic partnership of my wife, Mary, and the support of our entire family. It truly has been a hand-in-hand journey. 4 generations of Busbys have attended William & Mary, and I have to say that all 11 of our grandchildren have walked the bricks on campus. So we are truly a green and gold family. For a moment, I'd like to just speak especially to our current students. You are the reason that William & Mary exists after 329 years. We're proud to have you here and to count you among our future alumni. Now, I recognize you'll receive a torrent of advice from opening convocation to commencement. So I'll just add the wisdom of my own parents when they deposited me on campus just over 60 years ago. Now I know what you're thinking. How old is this guy? Well, I'm not too old to remember the simple words that my mother said. Now, Howard, be nice to everyone. Of course, that had some deeper meanings, such as helping others whenever and however you can, and respecting others who may have different opinions. But that didn't mean not to speak up and speak out when it became necessary. My father's advice, son, leave everything and every place better than you found it. And the subtext there was that I should encourage teamwork, embrace the diversity of others, and where there is conflict, seek to meet somewhere in the middle. As our country's own founders realized about 95 years after William & Mary received its charter, compromise can be a good thing as long as you don't compromise your principles. And so I think these simple words of parental advice started my 60-year journey at William & Mary and brought me to this stage today. I hope you as students have that same great journey that I have been so lucky to enjoy. But of course, none of us can make this trip by ourselves. We have each other, and we have the resources of this exceptional alma mater of a nation that has taught us how to think, how to serve, and how to never stop learning. Winston Churchill famously advised speakers to be clear and be concise and be seated. And I will, but let me again thank you again for this degree. For me and my family, it is the honor of a lifetime. Happy 329th birthday, William and Mary, and go Tribe.
How would I describe Bobby Scott? I think the best way to describe him is very intellectual, very thoughtful.
Public official. He's the hardest working man in politics.
Well, I got involved in elective politics in 1977 when I ran for the House of Delegates. I found that every time you had an idea, if you wanted to carry it forward, you'd always have to rely on elected officials to get it done. And I got tired of waiting for them to do it, so I decided to run myself.
Bobby Scott is the chairman of the House Education and Labor Committee, which is a historic position and a very significant position. Juvenile justice is jurisdicted in that committee. Bobby Scott has been a leader on juvenile justice issues for years.
Well, one of the things that makes me proud is we were able to change the direction of criminal justice. Most crime policy in America has been made based on slogans totally unrelated to the evidence. And when I was chair of the crime subcommittee, we were able to eliminate mandatory minimums. We were able to focus on prevention, early intervention, and an evidence-based approach.
His goal is to give everybody, regardless of their station in life, an equal opportunity to succeed. And you can look at the work he's done with the Every Student Succeeds Act, with making sure underprivileged children have access to health care, making sure workers and employees have good opportunity and good benefits and good health care.
We live in a great country and people have the opportunities, but a lot of people don't have nearly as many opportunities as others so that they can be the best that they can be. Education is really the key to that.
His legacy as a legislator is humility and a true commitment that doesn't waver, whether it's in front of the cameras or behind the cameras, to take care of people.
When you have someone from the Virginia Peninsula with such a lifetime commitment to service, to education, to children, you are essentially tying a bow around a lot of things that are extremely important to William and Mary.
Receiving an honorary degree from the oldest public college in the United States is obviously a great honor. It's a very well-established university, very great reputation, and a reward like this, I think anyone would be honored.
Congressman Scott, will you please join me and the Chancellor at the podium? Robert Cortez Bobby Scott, your 43 years in the Virginia General Assembly and the United States Congress exemplify the highest values of service. As the first African American elected to Congress from the Commonwealth since Reconstruction and the second African American elected to Congress in Virginia's history, you have served Virginia's 3rd Congressional District since 1993 with distinction. You graduated from Harvard and earned a law degree from Boston College. You joined Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and fulfilled the fraternity's motto, "First of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all." In Congress, you have strengthened U.S. laws and policy through more than 28 years on the House Committee on Education and Labor, which you currently chair. You advocate for issues and for people, whether in workforce development, fair wages, affordable health care, crime prevention, consumer protection, and reduced student loan debt. Your tireless work to desegregate schools opened doors and opportunities. In this year of William & Mary's Asian Centennial, we also recognize you as a proud member of the Filipino-American community. In honoring you, we celebrate the myriad contributions of generations of students of Asian, Pacific Islander, and Middle Eastern descent to our university.
Robert Cortez Scott, you have served your community, state, and nation brilliantly and forcefully. Countless organizations have recognized your dedication to public service, and William & Mary is honored to join them. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the ancient royal charter of the College of William & Mary in Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service, honoris causa. Well deserved.
Thank you, Chancellor and Rector, for your very kind words and for this award. I'd also like to congratulate my fellow honorees, Mr. Busby and Governor Younkin. As it's been said, I represent Hampton Roads in Congress, but I also have the honor of serving as chair of the House Committee on Education and Labor. In that capacity, I'm charged with protecting the rights of workers, expanding access to health care, and of course, ensuring that all students in America have access to high-quality education that equips them with the skills they need to succeed in the global 21st century economy. When President Johnson signed the Higher Education Act in 1965, he said that it meant that, and I quote, "A high school senior anywhere in this great land of ours can apply to any college or any university in any of the 50 states and not be turned away because their family is poor." And shortly after he signed the bill, the Pell Grant covered about 80% of the cost of a public college, and summer jobs and part-time employment could cover the rest, so students could actually work their way through college and emerge with no debt. Now the Pell Grant covers less than 30% of the cost of going to college, and students can work 40 hours a week and still come out with crushing debt, making higher education out of reach for many students. College is the great equalizer in America, and if the American dream is to be a reality, we all have to do everything we can to ensure that all students have affordable access to higher education. We're working to fix this, so I want to express my gratitude for receiving this recognition from William & Mary. As the second oldest college in the country, William & Mary has obviously a very complicated history, and college is struggling with that now and how to present that history. And just remember that you will never please everyone, but I urge you to continue that work, acknowledging, as Governor Younkin said in his inaugural address, both the good and the bad. So thank you, William & Mary, for this award. Thank you.
Governor Younkin is very smart, kind, generous, optimistic, naturally curious, and a person of genuine faith.
Glenn's a really positive, amazing man. People were drawn to Glenn in a way that is remarkable and unusual.
Glenn's most notable professional business accomplishment was at the Carlyle Group. He started at Carlyle as a fairly junior person and rose to become co-CEO, helping lead the second largest private equity investment firm in the world.
Well, I loved my 25 years at Carlyle. And I think the things I enjoyed most were first, having the opportunity to work with companies and help them grow. Second of all, I loved having teams come together and do things that individually they couldn't do on their own. And then finally, we worked for pension plans all over the world, but particularly in the United States. When we had a chance to visit with the folks that we were really supporting, teachers and firefighters and policemen, it was always incredibly rewarding and encouraging to know that work we were doing was helping them.
When COVID really started to hit hard and we had significant job losses, Glenn and his wife Suzanne started Virginia Ready, which is a private-public partnership that helps reskill workers for job opportunities in critical industries.
We met with business leaders across Virginia and asked them, what jobs do you have? And that we found, of course, was the community college system can offer a credential program in so many of those jobs. So we picked 30 in-demand, high-growth jobs and invited people to be retrained. This is an opportunity to give people new hope, but also to build the workforce of the future in those fastest growing, most in-demand jobs.
The response to the Virginia Readiness Program is significant because there's a lot of people who don't have the money that's necessary to earn the skills to get a better paying job.
Governor Younkin is truly deserving of an honorary degree from William & Mary. He knows how much higher education changed the trajectory of his own life and career. And I know that he's committed to ensuring that Virginia's higher education institutions are the best in the world.
I'm incredibly honored to receive this degree, and I just want to thank everyone at William & Mary for bestowing it upon me.
Kaplan Arena is a venue for enthusiastic expression, that's for sure. Most often we're cheering on William & Mary teams during games. But right now is not a basketball game. So I ask those of you whose behavior is disrupting this event to stop immediately and let the program continue, consistent with the policies and the values of this university. Thank you. We have honored guests today, and we will treat every one of them with the respect that they are warranted and deserve. We will listen to their remarks, and we will reflect the strength of our community in doing so. You have been asked respectfully to let this program continue. Consistent with the policies and values of the university, you are intentionally interrupting the business of the university in violation of the University Code of Conduct. You must stop immediately or disperse. All right, people, we've got a Charter Day to celebrate. Let's go.
I think it's your turn. Governor Younkin, please join Chancellor Gates and me at the podium. Glenn Younkin, from your career in finance and management to a nonprofit startup, you stepped into the highest role as a servant leader in your home state. As Virginia's 74th governor, you have sworn to faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties incumbent upon the office, including to support the Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth of Virginia. The Commonwealth citizens have elected you to undertake and fulfill that solemn oath. A native of Richmond, Virginia, your family moved to Virginia Beach after your father lost his job. Following degrees at Rice University and Harvard Business School, your professional path exemplifies the value of principled achievement. Your work at the Carlisle Group helped fund the retirements of teachers, police officers, and firefighters. As a response to the hardships experienced by Virginians during the pandemic, you and your wife Suzanne funded the nonprofit Virginia Ready initiative to train out-of-work Virginians for jobs in tech, healthcare, and other sectors so they can get back to work. You have named mental health as a top priority in your administration. William & Mary applauds this commitment. We seek to empower those who live, learn, and work here to make choices towards a healthy and fulfilling life. We welcome you as a partner in this crucial work.
Glenn Younkin, your drive to innovate and your dedication to the well-being of your community will serve you well as you step from one career to another, taking on the solemn duties of the governor of this great Commonwealth. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the ancient royal charter of the College of William & Mary in Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service, honoris causa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Chancellor Gates, Rector Littell, or should I say Rector Secretary Littell, members of the Board of Visitors, President Rowe, faculty, students, and friends, I am honored. I'm honored to join you on this 329th celebration of Charter Day. I'm so humbled to receive this degree, and I'm excited that when I leave here today, my lovely wife, Suzanne, who's serving the Commonwealth as the First Lady, can now call me Doctor. I'm also humbled by the fact that we are here today to commemorate the founding of the second oldest institution and America's first university, the College of William & Mary. It's great to be joined today by Senator Monty Mason and Secretary of Education, Amy Gadara. I am so honored to be recognized alongside Congressman Bobby Scott. Congressman Scott, you love the Commonwealth of Virginia and you love the United States of America, and thank you. Thank you for your service. And Mr. Howard Busby, your lifelong commitment to this great institution should be honored and cherished every day. Thank you for your service. Of course, as we've heard, the bar was set very high with the first honorary degree in 1756 to Benjamin Franklin. I've continued to be inspired. I've continued to be inspired by the great work of William & Mary thinkers, including our second governor, Thomas Jefferson. It is so great to be back in Williamsburg today. The week before the inauguration, our new team gathered here. We gathered here because we were taking inspiration from the fact that the oldest legislative body in the Western Hemisphere was started right here. And eventually, our nation was fueled by the apostles of liberty and freedom that were cultivated right here at William & Mary. And that led to the founding of this great country. And at the same time, the worst element in our history, slavery, also saw its beginning near here at Point Comfort.
which I visited yesterday. And I know even today, we are still addressing the remnants of this dark legacy. This is the history, the good and the bad, that must be taught. And we also must be certain that we are not teaching division. We can do both. And this is the opportunity that lays in front of all of us. As governor, I am committed to making Virginia the best place in America to live and work and raise a family and to learn. I am so impressed by the work that goes on here at William & Mary in fields like data analytics, but also in all the work that is going on to support our democracy. Both are consistent with your history and signal your commitment to the future, a future that is going to be filled with innovation. I also want to recognize the vital work that's going on in the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, a program that's led by William & Mary, focusing on coastal resiliency and the protection of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Our bays and rivers are a national treasure, and I am committed to protecting them. I'm especially supportive of the innovative curriculum that William & Mary has put in place to tear down the silos so that we can work across disciplines to equip graduates for both a changing and challenging world. You know, the work environment that we all hope to see in Virginia's future is a work environment that should be filled with Virginia companies and filled with William & Mary graduates, all of which should not just be leading our nation, but should be leading the world. The rapid advance of business requires a correlated rapid advance in education. I just visited a company in Hampton Roads, started by veterans, and breaking all kinds of previously conceived limits, called Drone Up. They went from a few employees to 125 employees in a matter of a couple of years, and they'll be at 600 employees by year end. And my own personal experience, it was when I was able to combine my engineering degree with my business degree that my own career took flight. Cross-collaboration and alignment of curriculum to a rapidly changing and evolving economy, these are critical to making Virginia the best place to live and work and raise a family, the best place to start a career, the best place to start a business. And in pursuit of that, I am so supportive of the efforts from multiple constituencies, but led here by your leadership to make sure students across Virginia have access to meaningful internships, critical to putting students on a pathway to prosperity. This is a critical part of making sure that Virginia succeeds. But ensuring the future pipeline of college students is critical, but we also need to recognize that we have an objective to make sure Virginia's high school students are also career ready. My hope is that William & Mary will bring its expertise to provide multiple pathways for Virginia's K-12 students to not just have big dreams, but to go get them. And to do so by partnering with K-12 academic leaders to form lab schools, bringing your immense credentials to prepare K-12 students for the opportunities of the future. Of course, none of this is sustainable if our schools are not accessible and affordable. I appreciate the efforts by the Posse Foundation to make higher education affordable and accessible for first-generation students. Our work is far from done. Higher education costs are soaring, and we collectively have to commit ourselves to reining it in. I strongly urge our college and university boards to show restraint in tuition increases, just as you have been doing during the pandemic. William & Mary has demonstrated real leadership in this area, finding efficiencies, working through collaborations, and expanding partnerships to reduce costs. There are ways to grow universities without growing tuition. Higher education changes lives, and higher education can change the world. And in a changing world where we have many, many challenges, one of the biggest ones we face is all of the Virginians and Americans who are struggling with anxiety and the various challenges of mental illness. William & Mary has taken an extremely innovative approach, focusing on crisis services, but also on wellness. This is commendable, and it's been effective. We need to do more collectively and as individuals to address our mental health challenges, particularly here in Virginia. During the pandemic, children have experienced isolation due to classroom lockdowns. Parents have been frustrated by managing work, school, and home life all under the same roof. People with substance use disorders have struggled to find services. An array of mental health challenges have either gone undiagnosed or untreated. The consequences have been tragic. Therefore, I've asked our Secretaries of Education, our Secretary of Health and Human Resources, our Secretary of Public Safety to convene a work session with college presidents to talk about ways we can better serve the mental health care needs of our students, of our faculty, and our administrations across Virginia. In the meantime, we have to continue to look out for one another. Earlier this week, I had the heartbreaking honor of attending the funerals of Bridgewater College campus police officers John Painter and J.J. Jefferson. These senseless killings remind us that we live in a world that is not as safe as we wish that it would be, and that there are people who put their lives on the line every day to make sure we are all safe. So I'd encourage all of you, please take a moment this weekend and thank the police officers that patrol this campus. And tell them that you appreciate them and that you have their back because they have yours. I sought my current office because I am optimistic about the future. I'm optimistic about the difference that we collectively can make in the lives of Virginians if we come together to solve all the challenges that we face. The moment we are in is one where we need to look forward to economic growth, to look forward to prosperity, to look forward to innovation, and to look forward to a return to normalcy. This is the chance for all of us to lead. We have experienced paltry economic growth. We can marry a rip-roaring economy with the capabilities of our highly rated universities. We must marry innovation with collaboration between the academic world and economic partners, because ultimately we want all of you from the College of William & Mary and all of you from our institutions across this great Commonwealth to build your lives here. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. challenged students in Philadelphia in his famous Blueprint for Life speech. He challenged them to be ready to face the doors as they are open to you. That was a moment where he particularly said that many people who had not had those doors open to their parents would see them open to them. Be ready. That is our collective challenge, and that's the purpose of education. Education allows children of every background to pursue their dreams, to rise above the present circumstances, to become everything they dream of becoming. I want every graduate of a Virginia high school to either be college ready or career ready. I want them on pathways to prosperity with the ability to think critically and perform effectively. I think that's what the earliest founders of this great college had in mind. For 329 years, William and Mary has provided the best and the brightest Virginia has to offer. And I know you all are already doing this to imagine what the next 325 years hold. A college that continues to be renowned as a leader in thought, a hub for innovation, a welcoming environment for spirited debate, but also an institution committed to educating the breadth and diversity of Virginia that sees in every child not just a dream, but the means to empower them to realize it. We want this campus to not just be known today for its historic roots, but for being on the leading edge of the future. That is the William and Mary that I see. That is the future I'm excited to encourage. That is the future that we want to partner together, everyone here in this arena, to partner together, even with the students who have yet to walk on this campus. Let's get this done together. Thank you again for this honor today, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Governor Younkin, Congressman Scott, Professor Busby, for those compelling words about the power of education. We will take them to heart. This is the year that William & Mary celebrates our Asian centennial, as I said, when we began commemorating the arrival of our first student from Asia 100 years ago. At some point in this program, we ask a student to interpret the charter in contemporary terms. This year, we extend that idea by translating excerpts of the Charter fully into present-day languages, Mandarin Chinese, Arabic, Korean, and Vietnamese, in addition to English.
William and Mary, by the grace of God, of England, Scotland, France, and Ireland, King and Queen, defenders of the faith, etc.
لكل من سيصله كلماتنا هذه تحياتنا. بالنظر إلى أنه كان في عقول الكثيرين من رعايانا الأعزاء المخلصين المشكلين الجمعية العامة لمستعمرتنا فيرجينيا.
신학, 철학, 언어 및 기타 우수한 학문들을 끊임없이 공부할 수 있는 대학교를 기초하고 만들어 나가며 확고히 하고 또한 앞으로 보존하고 지원할 수 있도록
他们有权在约克河南岸为我们的后人建立一所提供通识教育的学府。
Tới thời điểm này, khi nói đến việc cung cấp để xây dựng, tổ chức và đặt nền móng cho trường đại học này. Cái tên được chọn bây giờ và mãi mãi sẽ là trường đại học William and Mary trong tiểu bang Virginia.
In testimony whereof we have caused these letters to be made patent, witness ourselves at Westminster the 8th day of February in the 4th year of our reign by writ of the Privy Seal.
Education is translation, the movement of ideas, of experiences, of principles, of ways of being across groups of people so that they can learn from them together. Thank you to our readers and the leaders of the Asian Centennial, Professors Francis Tangloaguas and Denise Sahoni, and to alumnus Michael Tang for serving as honorary chair, and to the Centennial Committee who helped design today's program and our year of celebration. Thank you for bringing us the charter in different voices and the languages of William and Mary today so that we can hear it newly and differently. William and Mary's story is continuous and changing, and Charter Day should always spark curiosity about what we can rediscover and what we can imagine new. And as many of you know, we unveil Vision 2026 this weekend, outlining William and Mary's strategic directions for the next 5 years. William and Mary has been successful over time because we've understood the moment that we're in, we've risen to new challenges, and we've seized the opportunity to lead. As we begin our 330th year, we are coming through a period of intense and forced change. I am incredibly proud of how this community has navigated it in the past 2 years. The next 5 years will be different, though. They will be different. I can promise you that. We will get to the end of this because we will be choosing transformations. That's different. And we will be using the muscles that we have honed by forced transformation. A key goal of William and Mary's strategic planning has been to carry forward from pandemic the best innovations, the best new modes of work and learning that advance our educational mission. The outline of Vision 2026 is simple. Over the next 5 years, we aim to expand William and Mary's reach, to educate for impact, and to evolve to excel. Each major unit at this university, from schools to institutes, has laid out concrete actions to advance those goals. And there is space for more efforts to be added in support of these goals. We'll add them in on the website, which is a living document. But what gets added needs to be real, and its impact needs to be now. Vision 2026 also sets out 4 cornerstone initiatives, whole university initiatives, where William and Mary has distinctive strengths and can make a powerful impact in the world in ways that matter now. By leading higher education's response to critical global challenges, our shorthand is 4 simple nouns: data, water, democracy, careers. We'll be taking much more time this semester and talking a lot more about these cross-cutting initiatives in the coming weeks, but here's a quick preview. By data, I mean that in the 21st century, it will be a hallmark of an educated person to find patterns in large bodies of data and to use those insights in ethical ways. William and Mary will lead the evolution of the liberal arts and sciences by integrating computational thinking and data fluency into our research, our curriculum, and into our organization across fields and units. By foregrounding water, we recognize the power of William and Mary research to address threats to the world's water resources. William and Mary is poised to be a leader in global responses to flooding, drought, coastal disruption, and the social and economic challenges that we are already seeing in this warming planet. Our students will lead the next generation of scientists and industry professionals who steward the world's water resources. Simple, easy to describe, very difficult to achieve, so worthy as a cross-cutting goal. By engaging democracy, we have the opportunity to restore and envision new democratic ideals and to tell a more complete story about our country as we prepare to commemorate the 225th anniversary in 2026, semi-sesquicentennial. Practice it. Everyone's going to be saying it. Our nation is deeply divided. A majority of citizens struggle to debate constructively and learn from their disagreements. Disagreements are strengths when we can be present with conflict in a way that allows it to be meaningful to all. We cannot wrestle together with ideas without a shared understanding of the facts that we wrestle with. The foundation of every great university, as the Chancellor said, is our commitment to discovery, to evidence-based argument, and to facts as public goods. As Bart Giamatti wrote, every classroom is an act of making citizens in the realm of that room, and every room is a figure for the larger community. And speaking as a teacher today, that goes for Kaplan Arena as well. By careers, we assert that graduates grounded in the range of the liberal arts and sciences and professional education, fluent in changing technologies and tools, with hands-on experiences in different work environments, these are the human beings who will be best prepared for lifelong learning in a rapidly changing world. By 2026, every undergraduate at William & Mary will have an opportunity for a funded internship or other hands-on learning experience without extending their time to degree. Simple again to describe, difficult to achieve, ambitious, and so worthy of our efforts. And we will engage William & Mary's amazing network of alumni in actively supporting each other from their first job to their last. As our Asian Centennial reminds us, there will be actions taken now that will spur further action towards inclusion. Whilst Asian students and women were admitted a century ago, William & Mary still excluded many, including Black students. As we remember that many came before us, such as the nations who built great societies well before our founding, we remember that many will come after us, inheriting our legacy, being lifted as we climb, and being called to improve upon the new cornerstones that we lay today. At convocation, as you heard in the beautiful video that you walked in with, Judge John Charles Thomas challenged all of us. He said, we must be magnificent builders. Do this in your whole life and come back here to William & Mary with the things that you build and discover. At this weary time in pandemic, the most important thing this community can do is reconnect with each other so we can build. Prioritize the day-to-day connections that build relationships, study, play, hanging out in person. This is William & Mary's time to build from small steps to magnificent ones. Thank you. As we close out this afternoon's ceremony, I'm pleased to welcome William & Mary's Accidentals for a special performance of Happy Birthday. Accidentals, the house is yours. Thank you, accidentals. Before we head out to our winter carnival, our spring carnival, I have a few final thanks and logistics. The Charter Day Committee. That committee gathers throughout the year to design this celebration. Committee members, would you please stand wherever you are? Thank you. We know that organizing a ceremony at this scale is such a huge task. Each year, students, faculty, and staff make this event possible, and we could see how many people around the arena were leading from behind the scenes. Well done. Our program has been enriched by the creative talents of several student groups as well. The William & Mary Wind Ensemble under the direction of Richard Marcus. And the William & Mary Choir under the direction of Dr. Jamie Bartlett. Not Jamie Bartlett. I can't see who it is in the mask. Oh, it is, okay. Thank you all, both groups, for that amazing music. After we sing the alma mater, to the audience, we ask that you remain in your seat until the platform party has departed the stage. Students, as you head out, don't forget to sign the 2022 Charter Day banner, which is located up on the mezzanine, up there. The banner will be preserved for all times coming in the university archives. We hope you will enjoy the spring carnival outside of the Commons, where there will be a DJ, international cuisine, and games. Now, please stand and join us for the alma mater. You'll find lyrics printed on page 25 of your program. Choir, take it away.
Hark the students' voices swelling, strong and true and clear. Alma mater's love they're telling, ringing far and near. William and Mary, loved of old, hark upon the gale. Hear the thunder of our chorus, Alma Mater hail. God our Father, hear our voices, listen to our cry. Bless the college of our fathers, let her never die. William and Mary, loved of old,